In the previous videos, we have set up general monitoring of the Zabbix server. We added an item to check the presence of a certain file, and we defined a trigger to tell Zabbix that the absence of the file is an undesired situation. In this video, we will finally configure Zabbix to send you an actual email if this test file is missing. So, at the end of the video, we will have gone through all the basic steps, starting from a fresh installation up to an alert email in case that our test file is missing. First, we need to tell Zabbix how to send emails. Informing humans about problems is done through what Zabbix calls media. Let's see how the email delivery is configured. Go to Administration and Media Type. As you can see, there are three different media types pre-configured. Email is for sending email. Jabber is for sending instant messages to the Jabber service, and SMS is sending short messages to the cell phone of the administrator. So let's click on email to see how email delivery is configured by default. You should set the SMTP server to your own SMTP server. If you have an MTA running on your local system, localhost is fine. You should also set the sender's email address in the SMTP email field. This type of media is enabled by default, so we are good to go. Now your Zabbix server knows in general how to send email, but we still have to tell it your email address. Every user in Zabbix can configure how to be reachable through the profile. You can see the profile link in the top right corner. Let's click on it, and you see your personal profile. In the Media tab, you can see that there are no media defined yet. Let's add a media. Set the type to email, and enter the recipient's email address. You can also configure when you are reachable through this type of media, and for what kind of severities. Alright, don't forget to click on Save here, and you have set up your own email address. The final configuration setting is defining an action. An action is the connection between a firing trigger and the media. Click on Configuration and Actions, and you see the default action displayed here, which is disabled by default. It's called Report Problems to Zabbix Administrators. The conditions are that it always sends an email to the group of Zabbix administrators on any kind of problem, as long as the server that has a problem is not being set to a maintenance state. Click on the Enabled link in the right column, and you will see that the action gets enabled. Now finally everything is set up, so all that is left to do is trigger an alert and check if we get an email. Go to Monitoring and Events so we can see what events are happening. An event happens when the trigger fires. And let's remove the file that we want to monitor. So the file is removed, and any minute now a new event should happen telling us that the test file has been removed. Here it is. The file is missing, and the action shows in progress, which means currently Zabbix is sending all the notifications that were configured for this action. Check again, and action shows OK. You can click on the date in the left column to see details on this event. And you see here that one message was sent, of type email, to me as the recipient, and you can also see the message body. In the background, my email program just told me that there is a new incoming email, and here it is. As you can see, when we remove the file, a trigger fires, and the configured default action makes Zabbix send an actual email to my address. Finally, we have come to the end of this section dealing with your first notification. Admittedly, these were a lot of configuration steps before you get your actual email alert. Other monitoring systems in comparison may appear easier to set up. On the other hand, this makes Zabbix very flexible. You will hardly ever hit the boundaries of what is possible. You have now learned enough to get going with your own Zabbix server and try to reproduce what we have done in this section. Before you start adding more hosts to your configuration, I suggest that you take a look at the next section. There we will deal with hosts and templates, especially when you are dealing with several systems running the same operating system or even serving a similar purpose. I will show you how to save a lot of time.